Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. I am so excited, and I first want to say that I'm very happy for you. I am very excited that you have taken these steps and that you are putting in the work and that you're going to begin to heal yourself. And I'm so happy for you. And I'm proud of you for being you. And so today's lesson, like I know us going through that self inventory, there were things that we seen that oof, we probably did not like. I I'm sitting down and I'm gonna do it again myself because be quite honest, I do this monthly. I incorporate this in my life monthly because it truly does make me aware of the things that I need to pay attention to, right? It's just, it's being honest, it's keeping me accountable, and that's one of the things that I do with my healer is we go over it. And so I would definitely encourage you to do that, to tap into your accountability partner. And if you don't have one, you know that I offer that as a program. We each week we get lessons like this and we have accountability partners, and we work with each other on your self-discovery journey and your self-healing journey, and we support you in that. So if that's something that you're interested in, then please reach out to me. We do it. We love it. We have team of support coaches that are also there to support you in addition to myself, your accountability partner. And most importantly, it's affordable. We charge $44 a month to be a part of this community where we're all navigating through our journey. So if this is something that you're interested in and you feel that you need this more, please reach out to us. Okay. So our final lesson is we're going to cover how do we actually let go of these things? Okay? How do we let go? How do we navigate and set a plan moving forward? And how do we actually practice forgiveness? Because those things are important. So, first of all, we've already done our self reflection and our acknowledgement. And so we know that in order for us to do this, we have to be honest with ourselves and we had to do that honest self reflection. And this is us identifying those areas in our life where we have these deficits in our character. And we have to continue to acknowledge them without judgment. Look at them with compassion because this self awareness is our first step toward positive change. It's just the reality of life that in order for us to change, we have to not judge ourselves from where we were at. Okay. I tell students and clients all the time. Every night when we go to bed, that version of us dies. And while we're sleeping, we're upgraded to the newest version of ourselves. And when we wake up, we have been upgraded with all of what worked yesterday and what didn't work. So we're now aware, so we can make changes and we can move forward. It's like life is an experiment. When they're testing and we were in biology class and we were playing around with all the chemistry stuff, we figured out what worked and what didn't work, and we took account of that. And what didn't work, the next time we tried something different. It's the same thing with life. Okay. The second thing we need to do is embrace humility. Embrace the virtue of humility. Recognize that everyone has flaws and areas of improvement. Out of all of the years of me teaching and being a therapist, I have never met one perfect person. Not one. Like, not one. And not one. Yeah. And when we embrace humility, what it does is it allows us to approach our personal growth with an open heart and an open mind. And that is beautiful to have an open heart and an open mind. All right. Seek guidance, like for real. And that could be your trusted spiritual leader or a therapist or a mentor or an accountability partner. but someone who can provide guidance and support. Because if you isolate yourself and you try to do this on your own, you're going to struggle and you're going to stay in that deep, dark place. Okay. So, having someone to share your thoughts and struggles with will be very instrumental to your journey toward your accountability and your happiness and your peace. I promise you. I promise you. Trust me on this. Okay. Set your personal values and boundaries. It is very important for us to know our values and our boundaries. When I did the spiritual inventory, I look back and I'm like, okay, when I dated this guy, what did he do that I didn't like? Okay, now how many times did this person do this? Okay, and what did I do about it? And what I realized is I had this invisible boundary that no one knew about, and I would keep moving it. And they would keep doing things to hurt me. But I was never truly telling them that that was bothering me. And then I'm feeling resentful because I'm sitting here like, how do you not see how this is affecting me? But in reality, I was not telling them. So they didn't know. Right. So by me defining what my personal values were, and how I set clear boundaries for myself. And then I let other people know when they violated that boundary, right? And then what happened is I started developing trust within myself because this served as my foundation for my decision making to make sure that the things that I was doing was aligned with my values and my principles, right? I have two answers. It's either a yes or a no. If it's a I don't know, then that's a no until something changes that makes me want to say yes. But here's the thing, when I would have people call me, right? And this is how I operate. If someone calls me like, hey, Toya, you want to go do da 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 da? If my first thought is no, then it's a no. Or if my first thought is, I really don't want to do this, but if I don't do it, then I'm going to upset them. Then that's a no, because that means I'm choosing their happiness over my happiness. And I'm not about that anymore. If I'm happy, I make them happy. I was very great at making plans with everybody because I didn't want to say no to anybody, right? So sometimes I would have 15 things scheduled for the same day. There's no way I could do all of that. So then what would happen is I had these people think we were going to do something and then I didn't show up and I would cancel last minute. So then I messed up their plans and then I messed up our relationships because I wasn't being honest by saying, I really don't want to do that or I already have other plans, right? So it's you owning that. And when we do this, we get to reflect on how our actions align with our values, right? And we want to continue to act that way. Because if I'm going to do something that's violating my value, then I'm not doing it. If I'm doing something that's violating my boundaries, I'm not doing it. Because it took me a lot of work to climb out of that darkness to get to the place of peace that I'm at. And I'm not violating my boundaries or my values to go back there because I know what that feels like. And that's a place I don't want to ever go back. Right? Fifth thing is practice empathy. Cultivate empathy toward you. Okay? Because so often we give it to others, which we should. Because most often we understand that everybody is fighting their values, right? Their own battles. And we understand that, but yet we judge us for fighting our battles. No, stop that. And understand that we don't know what's going on in their mind. And something we may do, our actions may impact them. So when we develop empathy, it allows us to consider the perspectives of others before making decisions. And it allows us, when we have empathy toward ourselves, to also make better decisions. Number six, this is my favorite one. Forgive yourself and others. And we're going to talk about that a little later, like how to actually do the forgiveness. Okay. Because forgiveness is a powerful tool for personal healing. And when we forgive ourselves for our past mistakes and we forgive others that we have wronged or that have wronged us, right? It frees us. Because if we're holding on to that resentment, it's going to hinder our personal growth. It will. So commit to continuous learning, be open to learning and evolving, read literature on personal development, attend workshops, join an accountability group, join my self discovery program. Do something to help you discover yourself because you don't know who you are outside of all of the hurt and pain because you've not given yourself an opportunity to learn who you are without people pleasing, without keeping the peace, without being the savior, without being the fixer, without whatever title you carry, mom, sister, brother, dad, grandparent, whatever those titles are. You've allowed that to define you, and you don't know who you are outside of that. So focus on your self discovery. Look back at your life and see the things that worked and what didn't work, what you like, what you didn't like. Create your non negotiables. I tell that to everybody that is looking to start dating. Create your non negotiables. What are the things that you will not tolerate in a partner? Write those things down. Write those things down about a friendship. Write those things down about life. What are the things you're not going to tolerate? Okay? Because what this does is this helps enrich our life and it helps us create an accountable life. So continuous learning does both of those things. Okay? Establish healthy habits. Take care of your physical and mental well being. Okay? Establish healthy habits that contribute to your overall wellness, such as regular exercise, a balanced diet, sufficient sleep, because a healthy lifestyle can positively impact your mindset in decision making. Okay. When I work with clients, we focus on what I call life fulfillment. And we have six categories that we work on: our physical health, our family and our relationships, our wealth and our money satisfaction, our working career, our spiritual wellness, and our mental strength. And why are all of these important? Because if we're not filling the bucket in all six of those things, then we're going to have a void. We're going to feel empty. We're going to feel unsatisfied. But if we focus in those six areas and make deposits in each of those buckets, then they run over. And when they run over, then we can fill into other people. We can do all these other things, but we have to be fulfilled first because what most people are doing are trying to fulfill others empty. And then they're walking away feeling depleted, right? Have an accountability partner. Form these partnerships with individuals who share the similar goals. That's why my program is so effective because everybody that's showing up is showing up with the same goal. They want to feel fulfilled, they want to feel happy, they want to feel peace, right? And so we get to check in regularly, we get to have honest conversations, and we get to provide support and encouragement. And this is important. Even if you don't do it with me and my organization, that is completely fine. Do it with someone, but make sure you got someone. Okay? Practice mindfulness and reflection. So, incorporate mindfulness practices in your daily routine, whether that's through meditation, that's journaling, taking your time to reflect on your thoughts, your actions. This enhances your self awareness and it promotes positive change. Okay. Making sure you have positive self talk. If you talk bad about yourself, then that's what you believe about yourself. How do you think you're going to have positive change? You got to speak nice to you. You got to fall in love with you and treat you the way you would treat someone that you love. To be 100% real. I am, when I went to get my PhD in hypnotherapy, I never really understood the power of affirmations and the power of positive self talk until I went into that. Because I realized that our mind has 80,000 thoughts a day. 80,000 thoughts, and 80% of them are negative. 80%. So that is 64,000 negative thoughts going through your head a day. And the only way to change that is through affirmations and positive self talk. So when you hear yourself call yourself names or say you're stupid or you're not smart or you're not lovable or you're not, cancel, clear, delete those things and say that. Cancel, clear, delete. I am beautiful. I am loved. Because remember when I said whatever comes out our mouth is what manifests around us. So if I speak negative, then that's evil picking it up, running around my life. If I speak positive, then that's running around my life. What do you want running around your life, your angel or the devil? Which one? The choice is yours. And how you speak to yourself is what's running around you. Okay? So if you got a life that's full of chaos and pain and hurt, then watch what you're saying. All right? And I know it feels like I'm coming at you like that mama that's like, you gotta do it. And if that's the case, then and that's gonna make you want to jump into action, then yes. But I'm coming from a place of love. I'm coming from a place of, hey, I've been in that darkness. I know what it takes to get out of it. I help people every day step out of that hole. And I want that for you so much. All right. I want you to take this journey towards your personal accountability. I want you to have the character growth, right? I want you to incorporate these things that I'm telling you so you can gradually remove all of these character deficits that you feel that you're holding on to that is imprisoning you and keeping you in bondage and not allowing you to foster the fulfilling existence that you want and you desire. It is at the window looking at you. The cell is open. All you got to do is walk outside. And I know it's scary, but that's why you need an accountability partner. So you know that someone has got your back when you walk out, that someone is standing behind you, holding your hand, standing next to you, saying, we got this. It's okay. It's safe. Let's roll. All right. All right. So let's move on. Let's jump on this forgiveness bandwagon. Forgiveness, yes. And again, one of my favorite modalities is Ho'oponopono, and I teach this to my students. And I would really recommend you go into um, YouTube. They have lots of Ho'oponopono meditations. Go do them. They are amazing. Okay. Now, forgiveness, again, is one of the most profound transformation processes that can bring about healing and liberation the quickest. I'm being honest. The moment we look at our spiritual inventory, if we just look at everything we listed and we say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you 7 times, and we forgive ourselves, we forgive the people. If you do that every day until you feel free, then do it. When you can look at that line item and you have no negative feelings toward it, then say it every day until you don't have no more negative feelings toward it. Let it free you. Okay? So, some of the things I'm going to be repeating myself, but it's important for you to understand the beauty of this forgiveness. Okay? So, the first thing is acknowledge and face ourselves. Acknowledge the mistakes, acknowledge the pain, right? Face them, take responsibility for them. Acknowledge what went wrong is the first step towards self forgiveness, right? Just acknowledge it, okay? Next is understand intent versus impact. Okay, there's a big difference. Understand that there's a difference, right? Reflect on your intentions versus the impact of your actions. Sometimes mistakes are unintentional, and understanding the distinction can help you in forgiving yourself. Like I said, there were things that I did that was unintentional. I did not mean to treat people the way that I did, or, like I was given an example of me, booking 15 things in one day because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings and I didn't want to say no. It was intentional, but I still had to accept it and understood how that impacted other people. Okay. The next one, learn and grow. Use our mistakes as opportunities for growth. Learn from them. Commit to making positive changes in our behavior moving forward. And accepting that you are amazing and you are loving and worthy. Okay? Accept it. Our next step is practice self compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you will offer to a friend. And understand that everyone makes mistakes. It is part of the human experience. Okay? I promise you, we all make mistakes. No one is perfect. And I know we hear that all the time, but yet we try to make ourselves be perfect, and that's unrealistic. That's an expectation we can definitely let go of. All right? Just know that you show up every day the best version of yourself based on where you are at that particular moment in life. Okay? Release the guilt and the shame. Let go of any lingering guilt or shame associated with your actions because these emotions can be harmful and they are obstacles of your self forgiveness. Okay. The next one, set boundaries for self improvement. Okay. We talked about that a few minutes ago. Establish your clear boundaries. Commit to the behaviors that align to your values. This will help you from preventing other mistakes and repeating the same ones to stop that insanity, right? Have a support system, accountability partner. So, reaching out to someone that can support you, talking about your feelings and experiences can provide valuable perspectives and comfort. Engage in mindfulness practices to stay present. Avoid dwelling on the past. Don't spend your 24 hours focusing on yesterday. You can't do anything about it. Don't spend your 24 hours focusing on tomorrow. You can't do anything about it. You can only focus on the positive changes in the present moment of what you can do. Okay? Now, how do we forgive others? Is sometimes we have to understand their perspective. Okay? Try to understand the other person's perspective and motivation. Empathy can be a very powerful tool when it comes to forgiveness. Okay? Understand that hurt people hurt people. Okay? Express your feelings. Communicate your feelings to the person involved. Show how their actions affected you and express your desire for resolution. Some people you may not be able to do this with. Some, they may not be alive anymore. Some, you just are not going to be able to do it. It may not be what's in your best and highest good or in a safe place, right? So if it's not, then express your feelings on paper, write a letter, and burn it. Okay? Just get it out. If it is someone that you can communicate with and resolve it, then do that. But if it's not, then don't. Right? I have a person that I love dearly, but and she's family. And every time I've tried to have a resolution. It's just not possible. So I had to understand we just are not seeing, we're not on the same road right now. We're driving on the opposite sides of the street, on the opposite side of the country. And it's okay. But I have forgiven her and I have forgiven myself for my actions, right? Setting our healthy boundaries. We know that when we establish clear boundaries to protect ourselves from future harm, forgiveness does not mean tolerating repeating negative behaviors. And how do we set healthy boundaries? That'll be our next class. But how do we set those? Is we have to figure out what we like and what we don't like. That's why our self-healing journey is so important. Like when I got married 6 years ago, I had been single for a while. I had a lot of not so great relationships, some on them, some on me. Both of us were guilty. But then when I got married, I'm like, okay, we got to set some boundaries. This is how I need to be loved. How do you need to be loved? This is how I need to feel heard. How do you need to be heard? This is how I need to feel understood. These are the things that I need in the relationship. What are the things that you need? Because so often we assume everybody thinks like we do, and that's not the case. I mean, that's part of communication. But when things happen that doesn't make me feel good, I have that conversation right then and there, like, hey, this triggered me. This makes me feel this way. I need, we can't do that again. Here is my boundary. And that's in friendships, that's in everything, is that we establish those healthy boundaries to protect ourselves. Okay. And believe it or not, people respect that so much more. That's the one thing that I've learned. Once I became and tapped into my authentic self and stopped trying to hide and stopped being afraid to say the truth, I realized that people respected me so much more differently. And it was amazing, right? Choose empathy over resentment. So that is you making a conscious choice to replace resentment with empathy, right? Recognizing that holding on to anger only continues to hurt you and you don't deserve to be hurt. So stop abusing yourself. Release the need for an apology. Understanding that forgiveness does not always require an apology from the other person. Okay? It's your personal decision to free yourself from the burden of resentment. Because sometimes hearing an apology from another person, 90% of the times we really don't believe it's authentic because we're still holding on to that resentment. So learn that you need to forgive because you're freeing you from the burden. Okay? Focus on your healing. That's the next one. Shift your focus from the pain of your past to your own healing. Engage in activities that bring you joy and contribute to your well being. All right. The next one. This is going to be hard for a lot of people. I know this. Practice patience with yourself and others. Forgiveness is a process and it may take time. Be patient. Again, be patient with yourself and be patient with the other person as you navigate through the complexities of forgiveness, right? Just practice forgiveness. When I gained all that weight, and I think it was almost like 100 pounds, it felt like it came on overnight, but it didn't. It took time, but it felt like it. But taking it off, I've had to be extremely patient. I can't drop 100 pounds in a month. That would be unrealistic and extremely unhealthy. And so, just like that process, I had to practice patience. So, practice patience with yourself and others. Okay. And again, if you're struggling with this, get professional help because sometimes forgiveness can be challenging. And seeking assistance from a therapist or a counselor like I am, or uh, a spiritual leader, go have the conversations, okay? Because professional guidance can provide valuable insight and strategies, okay? Because that's what we focus on. It's what we went to school for. That's what we've dedicated our lives to do. We understand it. We've seen so much, right? We've heard so many things, and we're taught and trained on how to help with these strategies. So do it, okay? And as we finish this amazing series of setting yourself free, I want you to remember that forgiveness is a gift to yourself, and it doesn't condone or excuse the actions, but it frees you from the emotional burden, allowing space for healing and personal growth. And isn't that what you want? Doing this forgiveness is going to open up room for your happiness and your peace and the prosperity and the joy. Right now, there's no room for it because you're holding on to all this resentment and hurt and pain. So it's like your bucket is full of rocks and you don't want the rocks. You want the liquid. You want to be able to flow and live. So let's get rid of those rocks and fill it up with happiness and joy and harmony and peace. Let's do it. Right? I love you all. And I am so thankful and grateful that you have put in the time for you and you've put in the time to listen to me because time is our most valuable asset. We don't get to get any more time that's a lot than it's allotted to us. And you spending time listening and taking in and allowing Creator to flow through me to talk to you and teach you and get what it is that you need, it's an honor. And so, with that, I'm going to close with lots of love, and I will see you, beautiful souls, soon.